Okay, so earlier this year, I got laid off from my job for the second time. Now, it's not the same company that laid me off, but I'm recording this real and raw because it's just been a rough couple of weeks. It's been some eye-opening kind of weeks, but it's been some rough couple of weeks too. And to be clear, this is not gonna be one of them videos where you just see people crying, and that's just not even who I am. I cry offline, but because I've been laid off before, I believe that I'm approaching this layoff differently. The first time I got laid off was in 2020, and that's essentially what sparked Maximize Money, which is the channel you're watching. That's the business that I have where I teach women how to invest in stocks without fear and grow their money with confidence. And I am a walking blueprint of that work, okay? Because when I got laid off in 2020, I was not where I needed to be financially. I had paid off my debt. I had over $80,000 in student loan debt. I had a credit card. I had credit card debt. I had a car note. Like I just was not living the best life that I knew that I could live, and I just really wasn't managing my money right. I was traveling, okay? Coming back in debt. I was saying yes to all the happy hours, all the brunches, just wanting to not miss out, and all of those challenges led me to the debt, number one, and also not even being able to afford to live comfortably on my own at that time. Now, I was in my late 20s, and after getting like denied for two homes, like, when you get approaching 30, you feel like, okay, well, like, I think I should be an adult and like buy a house. But girl, I couldn't even afford a house. Like, I had got pre-approved for like $210,000, and I was living in Maryland at the time, close to DC, on the DC border. And if you know anything about the DMV, baby, the DMV it costs to live there, okay? And so that was my first eye-opening like money experience. It's like, okay, girl, 20s were fun, but we need to get serious about our money, because I don't want your 20s to look like your 30s. And this is how I talk to myself. The way I talk to y'all is how I talk to myself and how I talk to God. And so I'm like, okay, what I did, because people would be like, okay, well, how did you pay off all this debt? I sacrificed, okay? I moved back in with my mom. I still worked a 9 to 5, and I had a little side hustle on the side. I was helping Black businesses essentially like market their companies better. And it was a lot. I do not recommend that. I recommend you lowering your expenses, because I had a roommate at the time, and who wants to move in with their parents at 30? Like, that's just not normal, But I was like, I don't care. Like, this is a step back to get me to where I need to be, okay? So I did it. I lived with my mom it wasn't even a full 2 years. I lived with her for about, when did I move? I moved back in July, and then I stayed July of 2017, and then I moved out in January of 2019. So I guess about 18 months, if you will. But I ended up paying off my debt in full by November 2018, because my mom was only charging me a quarter of the rent that I was paying. And basically my whole check, all the money that I was making for the most part, was going towards this debt, because I said, you know what, baby girl, you gonna have your house. You gonna have that freedom. You gonna have some money, because I just was not happy with my life financially. So I did all of that. And then I ended up moving to Houston, which is where I live now. And I was like, okay, girl, back to living our life. I started doing my traveling again. Like, I ended up getting a new job that was paying me more than I've ever gotten paid before. But that job was stressing me out, y'all. I ended up quitting it like 9 months down the line. And I was like, okay, but like, what am I going to do for money? Like, why did I just quit? But the thing is, I had a little bit saving. I had a little bit saved, and I was still doing consulting for Black businesses on the side, y'all. But I struggled. I quit that job in like September, and I ended up having another job lined up by January. Now, this was, again, top of 2020. Things aren't looking the way they're looking now, okay? I had my savings, and I was basically getting by with the one big account that I was managing, as well as my savings. But it still was not enough, y'all. So that's why I was like, okay, forget this. I'm not going to be an entrepreneur. Maybe take my butt back to work, okay? Thankfully, I found a job a couple of months later, but as we know, the pandemic hit in March of 2020. So I'm like, okay, what is a pandemic? What is a pandemic? So I'm like, okay, I'm still working. I'm still working. I'm still working. We're all working from home, but I'm working, you know. And then June hits and I get my first layoff. I got laid off in June of 2020. And the baby, when I tell you I cried, I sunk into depression. Like, what do you mean I'm getting laid off? I don't even understand what that means. I've never been laid off from a job before. Like, huh? And so, girl, it was just not a good look. I had a little bit saved. Again, I think I had maybe 1 to 2 months. I had like maybe $4 or $5,000, and that quickly ran out because what we don't recognize, baby, is that unemployment is not giving you your full salary. Okay, I was making okay money on that job, and to have it just be swept from under my foot, I said, "Oh no, oh no." Now, did I do anything in the beginning? Yes, I started applying for jobs, but who was hiring in the pandemic, baby? Nobody. So between my family, my friends who would send me groceries, and the little bit that I would be able to put towards my unemployment, towards my rent, it just was not a good feeling. And so I did a lot of smoking of weed, not none of that hard stuff. I did a lot of drinking. I was working out, but it just wasn't healthy. And I was like, at maybe October, I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to feel like this again. I don't ever want to feel like a job is my livelihood. And I was like, I'm going to spend the next couple of months, because nobody was hiring. I had literally nothing to do. I said, I'm going to spend these next couple of months really taking my finances to the next level. Because I had already paid off debt, paid off my car, did all the things, had a little bit saved. But I'm like, I can't see myself in this situation again. And so that's when I really got serious about investing. I was already investing about $100 a month with, a broker who I still use to this day, but most of my investments now I manage myself. But he was adamant about like me laying a foundation and understanding what investing is. He leads with education, and I love that. I just don't use him as much anymore because of them fees. But I'm thankful for him because I was still investing that $100 well up until I got laid off from that job. Now, I wasn't hands-on with it the way I needed to be, the way that I am now, but I was like, okay, I need to follow the money. I need to follow what the wealthy people do, because they don't have to work if they don't want to work. I have to work right now. I'm not working right now. I'm laid off. But I knew back in 2020, I said, if I don't get more serious about growing my money, because I knew how to make money, I knew how to save money, but I needed to grow my money, okay? And that's why investing, and that's where Maximize Money came from, because I'm like, I want more women to be investing. So once I got a new job, which is the job that just freaking laid me off, I said, baby girl, we're not playing no more. We're not playing kiddie games. Tricks are for kids, okay? So as soon as I got that job, 3 months later, I bought my house. I set up my 401k. I set up my Roth IRA because I had spent 3 months just reading, watching YouTube videos. Like, I had the time, okay? Reading is free, okay? There's something called the Libby app. I had all kind of videos on my, books on my Kindle. I had YouTube. I was watching a bunch of YouTubes. And in the midst of all that, I said, you know what? There's nobody like me talking about this. So the following year is when I launched my company, which started off as Real Estate Prep, which is where I taught people how to purchase their first homes, because I had learned a lot from my journey, which was very successful. So shout out to my agent, Ashley. She did her big one with this house. I love it here. I'm never giving it up. And then also about my investing, okay? So I just started talking about real estate. And then eventually I realized, like, after talking about just my personal finance journey and everything that I had been through, people had more questions about that. And I said, okay, do I need to focus on that? And so I was like, okay, I just prayed on it and God just gave me the confirmation. And, Maximize Money was birthed. I stopped talking about homeownership solely. I still talk about it a lot because I still think it was one of the best decisions that I made. I do not regret it. My house is worth more than what I bought it for, which is the goal. I have rented out my house to nurses, okay? Because I live near the medical center here in Houston. So buying a home is how I've been able to increase my net worth, which is your assets minus your liabilities, whatever is left. Because of that, my net worth is pretty good, okay? I'm almost at $500,000. Love that for me. But I just was like, okay, all the videos that I was watching, there were a bunch of, and no shade, if you're watching this, there were a bunch of white men, there were a bunch of white women, there were a bunch of Asians. Like, nobody looked like me. Nobody was breaking it down in a way that I could understand it. And so I just was like, forget it. I'm just about to start recording on YouTube. I'm gonna start posting on Instagram and TikTok, and I found my people and my people found me. And I'm just so passionate about showing women what's possible when you put your money to work. We all work, whether you work in your business, whether you work in a 9 to 5. But the reality is we are all one check away, one missed client away from having our livelihoods taken away from us, which is why I'm so passionate about teaching women how to invest in the stock market. Because even if I'm going another year with no job, I can pull from my IRA. I can pull from my 401k. I have 6 months worth of expenses saved in a high yield savings account because I've been here before. And I don't want any woman to feel the way that I felt back in 2020 when I lost that first job. I thought, because I'm a money girl. Even when I didn't have money, I knew how to stretch a dollar, okay? But now it's like, I don't want to live from a life of scarcity. If all these rich people are investing in the stock market and going and traveling and living their best life and putting their 9 to 5 money into investments, then I need to do that. That's why I got serious about buying a home. I got serious about investing. And that's how I built a portfolio worth over $250,000 with my 9 to 5. None of my business income came from that growth. All of that money went right back into the business, or it's sitting in my account for any future business ventures I have. But a lot of us are not using our 9 to 5s properly, and we feel like we can always have it. Now, if you like a teacher or a doctor, that's one thing. But a lot of us are at-will employees, especially if you live here in the U.S., baby. Get serious about investing. I have so many videos on my channel. I just did one on the 6 accounts you need to grow your money with ease. I have one on if I was starting my investing journey in 2026, these are the 3 steps I take. Like, I have so many good videos. I have one on how to start investing for beginners. It's for women. It's relatable. It's for women who look like me, who weren't taught to invest. You know, we were taught to save. We were taught to make money. But we're going to be saving and making money forever if we don't ever put it to work. And I know if you're anything like me, baby, you like to live your best life. You like to travel. You know, you like to go to happy hour. You like to look cute, get your nails and your hair done. And you care about your money. And so I'm proof, baby, that you can do both. You can do both, okay? I want you to do both, but I want you to have the main thing be the main thing, which means your saving and your investing needs to be priority. What you need to be doing is automating it, y'all. I started automating my savings a long time ago. Once I started this job, after I already purchased the house, I said, bet, I'm not leaving. If I ever get laid off again, y'all not going to have me out here looking crazy twice. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you, okay? And when you own a home, having money for the what ifs are so important, y'all. I've only been here, 5 years? I've had to replace my HVAC. I've had lizards all in my house, in my attic, y'all. I've had just stuff happens, okay? Stuff happens. I've had to pressure wash my garage. Like, it's just a lot, y'all. So even if you don't own a home, it's still important for you to have money set aside because, again, layoffs are happening. Y'all have seen in the news, I believe it's 600,000 Black women getting laid off from corporate America. But whether you're Black or not, baby, we're all at risk. And I just want people to get serious about their money, y'all. So that is why on Saturday, January 31st, I will be doing your first 100 workshop. It's called Investor Live officially, and these are for the women that are serious about making 2026 the year that they start investing and investing with confidence. Again, I've seen every investing educator out there. None of them are offering that hands-on support that I want to hand you because I wish I had that. I spent years reading and buying things and buying these courses and buying this, and it's like, I just wanted a simple way to get started, and I wanted to have someone walk me through what it looks like to make my first investment, and that's what I'm going to help you do. It's going to be a small group of us. It's happening on Saturday, January 31st, and again, I'm not asking you to hand over your whole check, okay? Especially not in this economy. We don't invest money that we need for at least the next 3 to 5 years, okay? Which is why $100, baby, you can do, okay? $100 is your nails. $100 is that new wig that you got saved in your Amazon cart. $100 is dinner with the girlies, okay? No, ma'am. We can still do those things and still make sure that we have our financial house in order. And that's why I exist, y'all. I am not seeing enough Black women talk about this kind of stuff. And I want to be that, okay? I'm passionate about making sure that women have their livelihoods. That way, if the job ain't there, if the man decides to leave you, if anything goes wrong, you're good, okay? There's confidence that comes with having your money together. And for too long, a lot of us have been playing with these 9-to-5s, and I'm here to tell you to stop playing, baby. If you see this video, stop playing. Stop playing. Automate your savings. Put money into a high-yield savings account. I have a video on that somewhere on my channel. I think it's called Stop Leaving All Your Money in These Banks. Start investing. Invest $100 every single month, y'all. In that savings account, aim to get up to 3 months worth of your living expenses in there. That's your first step. 3 months worth of living expenses in your high yield savings account. I use Marcus by Goldman Sachs. It's linked in the description. If you use my code, you get an additional 0.25% in interest, and ultimately that's the APY, annual percentage yield. The higher that is, the more money you have to make. It's a savings account that pays you to do what we need to be doing anyway, which is save. Take this from a 2-time layoff survivee, okay? My savings, I don't play. My high yield savings account, I don't play. I automate that money. I have 6 months in there, but for you, I want you to work towards 1 month and ultimately increase it to 3 months, you know? The second step is to automate your investing. So again, Investor Live is happening on Saturday, January 31st. Don't tell me you don't know what to invest in, because you need to be on the workshop, okay? I'm not playing with y'all no more. I'm not playing with, this is my second time getting laid off. I don't want anybody to feel like this. I want you to know that your money is good whether you working or not. Now, we know we need 9-to-5s. I'm never going to be the girl that say quit your 9-to-5 unless it's impacting your mental health. But I will likely have a 9-to-5 again, okay? I just don't know when that's coming. But until then, I'm going to use this time to get the girlies together, okay? I got time. I'm going to help you get your money together. We're not playing with our money no more, okay? $100 in one ETF, in one account, every single month. Join me for Investor Live. You're going to do it. You're going to be done at the end of that session, and you're going to be doing that same $100 moves for the rest of 2026. Do not play with me and do not play with yourself, okay? Third is to manage your money with confidence, y'all. I have a free spending plan template that I have been promoting for at least a year, y'all, because a lot of us don't even know where our money is going. And that is a sure way for you to stay in debt, number one. Have tons of credit card balances that is not good, because the more you carry a balance, the more you're paying these credit card companies in interest, the more you owe over time. And we should not be paying these companies. These companies need to be paying us. That's the beauty of investing. That's the beauty of high yield savings accounts. A lot of us don't take this serious. We just be swipe, and we say yes to everything. And I'm saying this as a former swiper. That's how I ended up in credit card debt. That's how I ended up owing more in my loans than I even borrowed, because I just let the money sit there. I did nothing with it. You know, I paid the minimum balance every single month, and it's like, no, ma'am. We're not doing that. We're tracking our money, and we're doing it with confidence. So if you want my free spending plan template, I'll be sure to link that in the description as well. But those are the 3 moves I want you to make to get financially prepared for 2026 and beyond. Whether you get laid off, whether you get divorced, whatever your thing is, baby, it's time to get serious about your money, okay? It is so time to get serious about your money. Now, this is a recorded video, but I am strongly considering doing more lives on my YouTube channel. Just about stuff like this, you know. I give you some quick wins, but I also walk you through my journey. I also can converse with you if there's a specific topic that you have interest in. I'll be sure to highlight that. But just comment below. Let me know what you learned from this video. Let me know where you're stuck with your money or your investing journey. And I'm here to serve you, okay? Again, I got a little more time right now. I ain't got no 9-to-5. One day I will. Again, I'm not the don't work a 9-to-5 girly. The 9-to-5 is how I built a portfolio worth $256,000, and how I built the 6-figure, how I've saved 6 months of expenses, and how I bought this home. So our 9-to-5s can turn us into millionaires if we're serious about it. And I'm still tracking towards my millionaire journey. But we just had a little dead end right now, but that's okay, because I have the money to live on it if I need to, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to get serious about your money, babes. Do not play with these jobs. Do not play with your money because you're playing with yourself. And I know you don't let nobody play with you, so don't play with yourself, okay? So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this resonated with you. If you have been laid off, and you want me to do a whole series on like how I've been managing and what I did with my 401k and how I'm managing health insurance, all the things, or if you just want more real and raw videos like this, just comment below. If you have been laid off, my heart goes out to you. It's not easy. I've been laid off twice. I'm handling this second one much better than I handled the first one, but it still sucks, you know, and we can acknowledge that, but we can also use this time to make sure that we never feel the way that we felt before again, okay? And having your money and being confident that your money is growing is a sure way to make that happen. So sending love to my fellow women that have been laid off, men as well. We gonna get this money. We gonna learn. We gonna get this money, and we gonna make sure that we're never feeling the failure of a layoff ever again. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Send this to someone who's also been laid off, or someone that's might be getting laid off, or just someone who knows that they need to be doing better with the money that the 9-to-5 is paying them. Like, that's why I exist. I'm a Black woman talking about investing. That is not common. And I'm doing it in a hands-on way, which, again, not common. So I'm passionate about helping the girlies get their money. I'm passionate about showing you how to start investing, which is why Investor Live is a thing. And I just want you to click the link in the description for all the things that I've highlighted. And if you have signed up for Investor Live, baby, I will see you on Saturday, January 31st, where we are going to invest your first $100 as a group together. Okay? So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and Happy New Year, y'all.